Hi everyone, it's Karen from Makeup and Beauty Blog, and today this tutorial will just be for this eye look. Actually, there's going to be 3 eye looks. I used a single shadow. It's the Smoky Plum, that's the name of it, by Clarins, and this is from their new spring collection. Really though, you can use any sort of smoky plum that you like, or really any shade that you like, and basically the point of this tutorial is to kind of show you just 3 different levels of intensity of eye looks. Like the first one is kind of like mellow, something you could wear every day, and then the second one turns it up a notch. Then this is the final look, which is the third look, which really turns it up. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to show you 3 different ways to work one shadow. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial, and thank you for watching. Clarins Smoky Plum eyeshadow. This is from their new spring collection. It's this gorgeous plummy, taupey purple shade with a little bit of shimmer. Seriously, you can use any eyeshadow that you like. I'm starting by applying it onto my lids with a flat eyeshadow brush. That's the MAC 239. And I'm using a patting motion as I take this across my lids and up into my crease. I like to start closest to my lashes because that's where I want the darkest density of color. And I want that color eventually to be dark at my lashes and then fade slowly as it moves up into my crease. And I also want another gradient that is darkest in the outer part of my lids and have it kind of get lighter as it moves toward the inner portion. So usually I like to drop my eyeshadow brush first in the outer corner and then pat, 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 move it slowly toward the inner corner. I'm going to swap that brush out for a blending brush to sort of just blend out the edges and make everything a little bit smoother. The MAC 217. It has a lovely dome shape, but seriously, you can use anything like a 224, whatever you have on hand, as long as it's clean, because it's so much easier to blend when your blending brush is clean. Here's a little tip. If you don't have time to do a deep cleaning of your brushes, you can use something like a wet one's wipe to do a quick spot wipe and then blow it dry with a blow dryer. Going to take my flat eyeshadow brush again and just darken that lash line one more time with my same MAC 239 just to get that smoky look that I like so much. Sweeping back and forth here. And then I'm going to pat a little bit more the outer corner to make that outer corner even darker. Grab my blending brush again and just smooth out the edges, using small circles and a windshield wiper motion as I move into the crease. Let's build up the other eye, shall we? Getting there. Getting there. And we're there. We're swiping, swiping, swiping. Yay! Grabbing that 239 again, and I'm going to run that along my lower lash line to add some color down there and just sort of add that extra pop. For this first look, I'm not going to use any liner, so this adds an extra something. Don't be shy about adding color to your lower lash line, I'm telling you. It sort of just adds that extra something to your look, I find. So, trying really hard not to make funny faces here. It's a challenge, I tell you. Run that along the other lash line here, my other eye. Connect the lower lash line to the outer edge right there. And then blend out the edges again with my 217. At this point, you can stop and curl your lashes and add mascara. And yeah, I think this is super cute to wear for just like a daytime look. Anytime you want to wear like a light wash of color, you know, you get those nice gradients. It's a little more interesting than just like slapping some eyeshadow on. Okay, moving on to the second look. I'm going to grab a liner. This is my favorite liner at the moment, MAC Smolder. It's just a basic black eyeliner. Seriously though, again, you can use anything that you like, and I'm lining my upper waterline, and my lower waterline, and laughing a little here because I'm trying not to have my mouth hang open, but it's really, really difficult. Okay, doing it here with my other eye. Just working that slowly, slowly, slowly. Doing the lower waterline here. Trying not to giggle. And I think my hair is driving me a little crazy, so I'm going to clip it back. Using my 80s style claw clip. You know I'm all about the retro accessories. Okay, I'm going to line my upper lash line now using a NARS 38 angle brush. And I ran that across the smolder. Now I'm taking that brush and just applying the smolder directly on my upper lash line. And the reason why I'm using this angle brush is because I want sort of a softer line. I mean, you can definitely use like the pencil directly on your upper lash line, but I find that when I use an angle brush to apply it, it just makes adds a sort of diffused look, and I kind of like that sometimes. I'm doing it here at the other eye, using short strokes, and you can wing this out if you'd like. And usually when I apply smolder to my waterlines, I get a little bit of drop down under my lower lashes. I'm taking that 239 brush that I used earlier to just smudge everything out to add a little bit more smokiness. And I like to take that all the way into my inner corner. You don't have to do that. I think it just sort of adds a little bit of rock star grunge. Now here, as I get to the outer corner, I'm using a flicking motion to connect that lower lash line to the outer corner. And that is level 2. This is the second look. Again, at this point, you can curl your lashes, add some mascara, flash a peace sign and smile, and perhaps do a little dance. I'm always feeling the music, y'all. Goofball. All right, you can stop here, but we're going to keep going. I'm going to wet that 239 brush. I'm so sorry it's out of the frame. I don't even know. I have no control over my appendages, apparently. And with that wet brush, I'm going to run that across Smoky Plum. And taking that, and I'm applying that to my outer corner here because I want to deepen that gradient. I want to get it nice and dark and deep, and just to up the smokiness to get to this final look. I'm using patting motions and kind of sweeping up the edges, sweeping at the edges, doing that again. And oh, and if you find that you over apply, you can always pat your brush on the back of your hand first. And I'm going to build up that color a little more. Pat, 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 pat. And do that here to my other eye to just darken the outer portion. Getting that nice and dark. And then when I'm done with that, I grab the same 217 brush that I used earlier, the blending brush, and just blend out the edges. Blend, blend, blend. Windshield wiper motions as I move into the crease. And I kind of flick out the edges right there. Now I grab smolder again, and I want to darken that outer corner even more for even more smokiness. So I'm going to apply it to the outer corner in this kind of like a V shape. And yeah, so now after I do that, I grab my pencil brush, this one's by Burberry, and I sort of just like blend out the edges ever so softly. I want to keep that nice darkness up at the end, so the trick is to not over apply here, because, I mean, not over apply, over blend, because otherwise it starts to look muddy. You know, I want that sort of dark sort of gradient there at the edges. Oh, time for lashes. Katy Perry Punk Princess. I like these because the outer part of these lashes have a really long section. I'm going to just darken the lash band here with some gel liner. This is by L'Oreal. And then I'm going to run a little bit of glue along the lash band. As you can see, I don't use a lot of glue. You don't really, honestly, you don't need a lot. Dropping those directly onto my lashes. Just using fingers here. I'm going to tuck the inner part first and then the outer part. And if you have a hard time applying with just fingers, you can use something like your tweezer. Just be really, really careful, okay? Because you know, you don't want to poke your eye out. It would not be cute. Apply it, pop those down directly under your lashes, and then tuck in the ends. Now I'm going to marry the two together with a little bit of mascara. And then I'm done. Basically, this is the turned up smoky look, and you know, I paired it with, you know, since the eye look is so kind of dark and kind of intense, I paired it with like a nude lip. This is Jouer Gloss and Blush. Jouer does these amazing sort of nude colors. I love them for their lip glosses. And the cheeks are MAC style blush. And you know, you can wear this for like a night out. Or maybe if you're the more adventurous type, you can wear this to Trader Joe's. I'm just saying. You're going to go there and buy some pretzel slims anyway. Anyways, you guys, thank you again for watching. And I'll see you soon, okay? Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Bye! So I was going to put on some makeup for a post I was about to do, so I thought, heck, why not just film it? I don't even know what I'm saying! Okay.